concrete walls. There's a place for us where we could go, where we could be alone. Between city lights, we don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
Welcome to Livestream, everybody. I brought a souvenir home from Rampage. There were banners in all the dorms with the Rotor Rat pilots on them, and I took one of them home with me. Here's the part that you can't see. I don't have a camera angle that would show this to you, but the part that you can't see is I thought it would be really hilarious to hang it as like a curtain in my closet, so that like there's not a door on the closet. But what it means is that now every time I look out at the corner of my eye, there's Drew! There's Drew smiling at me! And occasionally I walk in the room and I'm like, ah! Because I'm not expecting a person to be there. Oh. Thanks again to Rodolphe Lachman from Quebec for bringing me to Rotor Rat Rampage a couple of Quebec beers. I drank one yesterday on the stream. I'm going to do it again today, and then that'll be all of them. I drank the other two off the stream. This is I was like, what kind of beer is this? And then it's all in French. So we're gonna have to just play it by ear. It's La Blonde du Lance. Yes, let's see here now. Bière blonde rafraîchante au goût de céréales qui se laisse boire avec aisance en toutes circonstances. Cette bière doit son nom à l'ancien bienfait havre des pêcheurs en est situé la brasserie. Ingredients: eau. It has eggs in it? No, surely not. Yeah. Oh, hey, well, there's an English translation. I'm sorry. Refreshing blonde beer with a crisp cereal taste. I don't think cereal taste is actually how that should be translated. Impeccable French, says Joey Zoom. Let's see how it is. Let's see how it is. Oh, it smells nice. It smells nice. Oh, that's not bad. That's interesting. That's interesting. It has a taste that I usually associate with like a lager. But it's not a lager. All right, anyway. Cereales. You know, that's what we all want from our beer. Cereales. Welcome to Livestream, you guys. Giveaway incoming. I haven't done a Livestream giveaway in a while. The last time we did a big Livestream was around Christmas when it got really bonkers, and I think I gave away like $2,000 in prizes from Super Chats. People were Super Chatting like crazy. And I gave away, like, I couldn't bear to keep all that money for myself, so I gave it all away. But I do remember the live stream where I was a couple shots in. I wasn't sloppy, but I definitely was having a good time, and I did a big giveaway. I think I gave away a 3D printer. Again. It's 2022, folks. We ain't got the money to do big fancy giveaways. I mean, I'm still doing the new product roundup giveaway. And you know, we gotta pay the bills, folks. Welcome to the live stream. I haven't rebooted my computer yet since last time. Cool. That means the mistakes I fixed on the last live stream are still fixed. Good. I gotta reboot my computer. Welcome to the live stream. This is what I got going on. I will be taking your questions here in the chat. I will be taking questions from these beautiful, beautiful people here on the right side of my screen. This is my Discord server. And if you want to hang out with them, too bad you can't. There's only one way to get on this server, and it's by joining my Patreon. Oh, so I guess you can. I take it back. You can. It's not that hard. $2 a month or more. I don't want to anchor. There's a concept in sales called anchoring, where if you're supposed to anchor somebody, you don't want to anchor them to a low number. Unless you're trying to sell, then you want to anchor them to a low number. Yeah, you can join my Patreon. You can join them, and you can be a party to all these exciting animated images. I'm not saying the name of them anymore because it starts an argument. What the hell, Eddie Nunes? What is this? What is this? Bloop. What is it? I don't. Okay, cool. Over here on the left, if you want me to read your... I'm going to read these messages. I'm going to read all these messages. Every single one of them. No, not everyone. But if you want to make sure that I read your message, you can leave a super chat. It's a great way to support me. And I will read your message, probably. Like, I don't promise to read every single super chat. Because, like, you know, I'm not a monkey. I'm not your little dancing... Dance, monkey, dance. I mean, for a big enough super chat, I'll dance. But for most super chats, I'll just read them and I'll answer your question. But we're going to start off with a question from the YouTube chat. The question is from Jay Runsvold. Is the Baby 8 Pro worth buying, or are there better, cheap, sub-250 drones? I don't know. What is the Baby 8 Pro going for these days, first of all? I mean, prices are all over the freaking place these days. The Baby 8 Pro at Get FPV is $100. Can you, chat? Okay, chat, here's your challenge. Can you do better than the Baby 8 Pro for $100 in the sub 250 category. I think that's going to be tough. Now, the problem would be that you have to buy it from somewhere that will ship it to you. I'm not sure how available it is in the United States. Banggood, wouldn't hold my breath on receiving. I mean, you'll receive it in a while. Pyro, come on, Pyro, come through, baby. No, out of stock. Where is it in stock? I have no idea. But I'm not sure. For $100, for $100, I don't know if you can do better than the Baby 8 Pro. Like, what about Emax, Tiny Hawk, Freestyle? What are they going for? $130, $140. That's a significant amount more money, and it's out of stock, and it's not a 3-inch. Yeah. Tiny Hawk 2, Freestyle, in stock, $250. Yikes. Yeah. Oh, well, that's on Amazon. That's the full kit. Okay, I take it back. Anyway, I'm thinking you're gonna have a hard time doing better than the Baby 8 Pro, but I also think you're gonna have a hard time finding the Baby 8 Pro in stock. That's how life is these days. Yeah. Oh, I will always show a GIF of a pig, of a cute pig. And if don't even get in the chat and say anything negative about that pig. If you get in the chat and you go, oh, gross, that's a disgusting, muddy pig. Pigs are adorable. They are sweet, sweet. We don't talk about the other thing. Not where they can hear us. That pig is adorable. A big, sweet, hairy, fluffy pig. Cooling off in the mud. You shut up. That's a great GIF. That's how we do it. You ask the questions, I answer the questions. Clyde Kaylor. Another question from the YouTube chat. Would the Lemon telemetry receiver work well with the Bobby Eagle flight controller? Can I guess that Bobby Eagle is like a voice-to-text mistake? The Bobby Eagle. What's a Bobby Eagle? Oh, a Hobby Eagle. I have no idea what a Hobby Eagle flight controller is. I don't know if it would work. This is not the kind of flight controller that I deal with. I have no idea. This is a flight controller or is it a receiver? I don't even know. It's called a flight controller. 6-axis flight controller. What kind of flight controller? Don't use this. It's an alternative to the NASA M. What? No, don't use this. Don't use this. This is from 7 years ago. Whatever this is, don't use it. Oh, it has 2 whole flight modes. No, do not use this. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, there's a better way of doing it than that. Would the Lemon telemetry Eagle work well? I mean, yeah. How do you even PID tune that? No. I don't know if it would work. Like, it's had an S-bus input, right? So I'm skeptical because it had an S-bus input. I'm actually going to try to answer this gosh darn question. S-bus supported. No, it will not work with the Lemon. A Lemon receiver is Spectrum. It will not work. Oh my God. What the F? No, look at this. If the throttle is not as 0, props will spin. Oh my God, this is not acceptable. You couldn't ask for more from such a low-cost flight controller. Yes, you could. You could ask for it not to arm the props when you plug in. Do not use this. Do not use this. The chat is telling me that Lemon receivers can also be ordered with S-Bus. All right, well then I guess it would work. But don't use this flight controller at all. Don't. Do not. It has auto-tune. Lol, indeed. That's an interesting one. I think I like this one better than yesterday's. Yesterday's had a... Well... Yesterday's was an IPA, and I do like IPAs. That's probably one of my favorite styles of beer. But yesterday was a little bit... Had a little bit of a bitter note that I didn't love. Whereas this one is a blonde. Almost a red. And it has a little bit of a sour note that's unexpected, reminding me a little bit of like a Pilsner, which I usually don't really love Pilsners. But in the context, it's okay. I'm not sure if I like it better or not. Anyway, I know you're dying to know. I just want to thank Rudolph Luckman for bringing me these beers to Rampage. B-Man FPV says you liked it enough to finish it. It's true. It's true. Let's get some super chats read. Can't go too long without reading the super chats. Callie FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat. Is it normal for 1S Lipos to have much higher internal resistance? Callie, it's normal for smaller batteries to have higher internal resistance. So if you were to show me a 1300 milliamp hour one cell battery, which, I mean, not in the world of FPV, that doesn't exist. It would have a similar internal resistance to a 1000 milliamp hour 4S. Each of the cells has the same internal resistance. Little tiny watt batteries have high internal resistance because they're very small cells, not because of their voltage. But yes, it's normal. Josh Feltz, thanks for a $2 super chat. Josh Feltz says, dance! The threshold for making me dance like a monkey is higher than $2. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But this whole, give up. I'm not going to give up my dignity for you. I have dignity. I have pride. And I have the But then, like this, like you say, everybody's got their price, though. It's growing on me. It's growing on me. Let's Fly RC, thank you for a $10 super chat. What does VTOL stand for? I know what you're getting at. I know what you're getting at, Let's Fly RC. You're getting at the Rotor Riot episode from today, which featured... Oh, look at this! Looks familiar, doesn't it? That's at Rampage. I saw you build that, and I saw you fly it, and it's pretty freaking cool. It is a... Here, by the way, is Let's Fly RC, the star of the show. And what he's got... I mean, I'm sure there's good B-roll of it, but I don't want to just sift through 13 minutes of content to try to find it. Here on a live stream. I mean... Can we get just some B-roll of the quad? Or the aircraft? What it does is... There we go. Almost. Hold it up. Hold it up. There we go. So it's got 3 motors. The front 2 are articulated and switch up, and it flies like a tricopter by adjusting the tilt of the front 2 motors, not the rear one. And then it shifts those motors down, and it flies like an airplane. That's pretty badass. He is using RGPilot. I'm intrigued by RGPilot. I kind of feel like I want to give it a try. It's RGPilot can do so much. And the idea of a VTOL plane appeals to me because I don't live in a place where I can easily take off. Or I could take off, but I can't easily land a fixed wing. So, intriguing. Intriguing. Sean's a good dude and has a lot of great ideas. Through. Oh yeah, no. Then I see how an airplane actually flies, and I'm like, never mind. Like, they fly so bad compared to quads. Like, this is Alex Vanover flying this damn thing. Look at it. It's like, I'm all over the place. What am I doing? I don't know. I'm wobbling through the air, and like a quadcopter is just like, meow. It's like, I don't know. Then I'm like, forget it. People seem to enjoy flying planes. This is probably a problem with me. Sean's like, don't crash it. Vanover's a hell of a pilot. That's for sure. Blonk. Shibonk. Oh, it's still up. It's still up. Is this the most efficient? By the way, kudos on the title. Kudos on the title. I haven't watched the episode yet. Did they bring it back around to the title? Or did they just use that title as a hook? Did they discuss drone delivery? Did they do a drop or anything like that? It's really cool. Good job, Sean. Wait, is this a different plane? Or is this is a different plane? Sheesh. I mean, kudos for you for hooking drone delivery in. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that $10 super chat, sir. Appreciate you. Wesley Reen says the title was clickbait. Damn. It's risky. You gotta pay. You can't just come up with a good title. You gotta pay it off. You gotta pay it off. Kathyus Klein, thank you for a £5 super chat. No question, but this is the first stream I've managed to catch live. You've helped me a lot when I used to FPV. Now you're doing it again. Well, I hope you're back, my friend. Narcoleptic LTD, thank you for a $20 super chat. Next time, thank you for, it's a very generous super chat, by the way. Next time you read French, you'll need to be wearing a hooded robe with candles lit all around your face, covered in shadow. Because it sounded like you were reading some incantation from the Necronomicon. Yeah, that's... They talked about drone delivery. Okay. Phantom FPV, good to see you. As long as we're looking at YouTube. As long as we're looking at YouTube, and as long as Phantom FPV just showed up, can we take a moment? First of all, Phantom, and my wife will vouch for this, Phantom. I watched Phantom's video, and here we go. We come in. I'm not going to play the audio, because I don't want to get... Okay, no, I'm not playing audio. I don't play the audio, because I don't want to copy strike. Whoa! Beautiful. This is just his intro reel, I think. But here's the beast. And I'm watching this video, and we get to this scene right here. And I go, oh, I see Phantom bought that Sony camera that Stingy has. The minute I see this scene, and I see all this beautiful bokeh, and I see this beautiful depth of field, I'm like, that's a full-frame camera if I ever gosh darn saw one. Tell me I'm wrong, Phantom. What did you buy? Maybe he borrowed Stingy's cam. We were out flying, and Stingy had his cam, and Phantom was like, oh, that's kind of nice. And I'm like, he's going to get one. Anyway, look at that beautiful bokeh. You need a wider lens, though, dude. See this? This is too tight. Too tight. You need a wider lens. That's my little tip. That's my little tip. But then Phantom, always giving the shout outs, by the way. That's why he's going to go far in life. Look at it. Look at these shout outs he gives. Look at his, how do you even, did you write their names down? You get them to say their names? Look at these shout outs. Everybody getting a shout out from him. So cool. Oh, and here we go again. Look at that. Look at that depth of field. Do you see how this is in focus? And that's not so artistic. So artistic. So artistic. And he flies the Beast class. And he trippy spins the Beast class. He's a madman. He's a madman. If you want to see him trippy spin the Beast class, Phantom FPV, I'm not going to play the whole thing and take his views. He's a freaking madman. Just nothing to lose. Oh, no fear. And I called my video No Fear because I was flying the solder-free build. A7C. Ooh. Them full-frame cameras are too heavy for me. Too heavy. I just can't be... I don't know how Singy does it. It's beautiful, but I just could not be carrying that shit around. I think that... I mean, whether I master a trippy spin or not, One Eye, I don't know if I have the balls to do a trippy spin with a freaking Beast class. Anyway, there he is, Phantom FPV. All right, well, enough gushing about my friends. Let's get back to the job at hand, which is answering your questions. Answering your questions. Let's see here. Anthony DiStefano, thanks for a $10 super chat. Having issues with signal quality, periodically cutting in and out with a Baby Hawk 2 HD. It goes blocky, then comes back, then goes again. So this is the Baby Hawk 2 HD, Anthony DiStefano. So I presume that we are talking about DJI. The first thing that I would say is I would check for interference. Like, is there like a Wi-Fi router right next to where you are? Some of the channels can interfere with Wi-Fi. Does it happen only in one location? That would point to interference. I assume that you're at like free open air, that you're not going behind an obstacle or something, right? I assume that you would have mentioned that if that was relevant, and it's just randomly coming in and out. Could be interference. I think it's unlikely to be bad hardware, because like usually with DJI, either it works or it's dead, and it usually works. So try going to... Hang on, I gotta remind myself and make sure I give you the right advice. I'm gonna pull up this FPV channel chart and make sure I give you the right advice. Burp. Yep. Wi-Fi. Yeah, so DJI 7. DJI 7 is high frequency enough that it is away from Wi-Fi channels. So go to DJI channel 7, or if you're in the USA, DJI 3 if you're on 50 megabit per second, and see if that still happens. And if that solves it, then it's Wi-Fi interference. I mean, that's just my best guess. Boom FPV wants to know where my Beast class is. I sold my Beast class to a local guy here in Knoxville who was interested in it. I tend to not hang on to stuff. If I'm not flying something regularly, I tend to get rid of it. Because I would rather... if I have a quad that I fly once every 3 months or once every 6 months... Or, you know, man, not like literally one pack every 6 months. But if I have something that I'm not flying regularly, I tend to just want to see somebody else fly it, rather than it sit on my wall for like the one time that I want to fly it. So I sold it. The chart, Aber the Ham, came from PropWashed. It's a good chart. Just search for FPV channel chart. It's a good one. Yeah. Joshua Roseno Thank you for, oh, no super chat. Thank you for nothing, Joshua. No, sorry. Any tips on resolving analog video noise from motors, capacitors? Capacitors. That's what I would say. Do you have a capacitor on there? Like 1,000 microfarad capacitor. So I always end up basically owning a few, mostly I fly 5-inch freestyle. So I have a few 5-inch freestyle quads that I keep going back to as I attempt to be a better pilot. You know. Hill Scraper FPV wants to know, is there a standard way to change your video channel, or does every flight controller do it differently? I mean, Hill Scraper, all Betaflight flight controllers will support the same things, and so they should change channels the same. But I'm not sure if I'm misunderstanding your question a little bit. TJ Richardson suggests that you use a coax cable for your video cable and ground it, and that will solve your video noise problems. It's true, but if you have video noise problems, you should solve the electrical noise, because that same electrical noise that's messing up your video is also messing up your gyro. So I think it's good to have the video as the kind of canary in the coal mine. If you show me an analog build with a video transmitter powered straight off VBAT, and the video is crystal clear, I bet you the gyro is also going to look pretty decent. And if you've got an analog build with crappy, noisy video, and you solve that by putting a coax cable on there, the gyro is still going to look crappy. That's my take. Hill Scraper FPV wants to be able to push buttons to change the channel. Let's see if I can find this video. Yeah. Betaflight change VTX band channel power on a switch. Yes! This is the video you want, Hill Scraper. That's the video you want, friend. Let me just copy paste that for you. There you go, buddy. We got a question here from PDX FPV, who says, I burned a FET on my T-Motor F55 Pro 2. Do I have poison ivy? I think I got into some poison ivy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's poison ivy, baby. Oof. That sucks. Sorry. Got distracted. I burnt a FET on my T-Motor F55 Pro 2 in a situation where it should not have. Well, I'm trying to figure out why. How could you say that and not tell me the situation? I burned a FET in the situation where I shouldn't have burned a FET. Well, what were you doing when you burned the FET, PDX? He's typing in the Discord. I'm waiting to hear the answer. Could it be caused by... It was a super light crash. Okay, so PDX, I'm going to take your question at its premise and answer your question. But I do want to say, a lot of times people will say, well, I had this super light crash and my ESC broke, and I shouldn't have done that. And you should bear in mind, not you, PDX FPV, but other people who are in that situation, you got to bear in mind that crashing is cumulative. So you could have a situation where you beat the shit out of this ESC for 50 packs, right? And you've replaced 7 arms, you know, and you know, whatever. But the ESC and the flight controller have been totally bomb-proof. And then one day, you have a super light crash into a bag of pillows, and the ESC explodes. And you're like, well, that crash shouldn't have killed that ESC. But you got to bear in mind, not you, PDX FPV, but other people who may be in the same situation, that damage can be cumulative, and that super hard crash that mysteriously your ESC shook it off and didn't even notice, actually, like, it took some damage, but it's not quite dead yet. And then the super light crash that happens later is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and then the ESC dies. And you're like, stupid thing. So if you show me a brand new ESC that has never been crashed, and you take it out and you tap a branch and boom, the ESC blows a FET, I'll be like, yeah, no, that's. But a lot of times there's parts of this story that get left out. When someone says, you had this super late crash and the ESC broke, well, they're not mentioning the fact that they beat the shit out of it for the last 3 months and now it just finally gave up the ghost. So anyway, that's not. But you say I haven't abused it. It's really weird. It was a super late crash. Why did it happen? There's no way to know why it happened in this moment, because especially in this day and age, you could have just gotten a bad one. And I say in this day and age because in general, I think the quality and reliability of manufacturing has gone down because manufacturers are getting squeezed for price. Everything is more expensive. They're trying to find ways to save money, and quality is slipping, and that's just happening everywhere across the supply chain. So I bet you that the failure rate, the defect rate of ESCs today is higher than that. So maybe you just got a bad one. PDX is asking, could it have been caused by a voltage spike? Yeah, I mean, that's probably what caused it. But what does that mean? What does that mean? What is actionable about that information? That's always what kills ESCs, is voltage spikes. I mean, who knows? You're running 6S with a capacitor. I had really bad video breakup on DJI when I should not have, which caused the crash that smoked the ESC. So that may be an indication that something else was going wrong before the crash. Really bad video breakup could be caused by excessive electrical noise, which could be caused by an ESC that's failing. The real, like, what we want out of a situation like this is for frickin', House MD to come in and say, here's what really happened, and like tie it all up neatly with a bow. And the reality is that we often can't do that. I mean, there's a fair chance that there's something about this situation that doesn't seem relevant to you that you're not telling me that actually would be super relevant if we knew it. Maybe you don't even know it. So you crashed, your ESC died. I mean, like, if I were there, if you were like at Rotor Riot Rampage or Quad Camp, and I was looking at your quad, I would inspect the solder joints. I would look at how you've mounted the ESC and the flight controller to try to see if there's a way that you've done it, or you could do it better to make it more reliable, and so forth. But I think it's going to be very difficult to figure it out just based on chat on a stream. It's just bad luck, and it sucks, especially in this day and age where an ESC is $80 or whatever. Soft mount the ESC to help with shock absorption. Make sure the ESC is a millimeter or two away from, like maybe 2 millimeters away from the carbon in case it shifts a little bit. Yeah. Have a good 1,000 microfarad capacitor, and then, hope that life is good, What quad was it, Night Owl? Night Owl asks, did you buy it from Rotor Riot? Yeah, PDX, what quad was it? Let's see here. While we're waiting for PDX to come back with that, thank you, Ricardo Rodriguez, for 129 Mexican pesos. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you, Ricardo, for your generosity. Andrew Geltz, thank you for $2.50. $2.50. Dance, not for $2.50. It was a custom build. Okay. T-Motor F55 is a pretty reliable ESC. Ciati and I both think that Acon builds T-Motor's ESCs and flight controllers, which would suggest why they are so gosh darn reliable. But that doesn't help PDX FPV. Mike Bergman says, are there other pesos? Yeah, I believe that Argentina has pesos. Argentina is Argentinian pesos. Yes. Argentinian pesos. I know because people sometimes super chat them. Let's see. One Mexican pesos. What else do we got? How many pesos are there? Eight countries that use the peso. Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Philippines, and Uruguay. There you go. Now you learned something today. Kilo Foxtrot wants to know, is Radiomaster going to sell their internal Express LRS module? Yes, they say they plan to do that. There is no specific time frame. So, couldn't tell you. Jay Runswold, I am not that far behind in the chat, but I am that far behind in the super chats. Just how it is. Narcoleptic LTD, thank you for a $5 super chat. I am really behind. Also, Dance, $5? No. My dignity is worth more than $5. Pilot Extreme, thank you for 10. You guys are... I appreciate your donations. Pilot Extreme, thanks for 10 Canadian dollars. Your voice pack is so awesome, but it needs a new intro. Could you please say, hey, Marty, what a great day for some FPV action. Just remember one thing, send it. Much. You want me to do a custom voice pack just for you here on the live stream? Well, I guess for 10 Canadian pesos, that I will do it. Hey, Marty, what a great day for some FPV action. Just remember one thing. Send it. There you go. Gustavo Sangzerla, thank you for 550 Brazilian reais. Really enjoy your content, especially the live streams. Thank you so much. Phantom FPV wants me to show my dive. I mean, I posted it on my YouTube channel for $5 super chat. All right, I'll show my dive. It's very, very kind of you. I got an okay dive. It was all right. Let's see here. This is my Rotorite Rampage challenge. Go. Drew Camden's challenge. Oh, see, I can play this music because I know it's not gonna get a copyright strike. Yep, trying to dive this. Okay, that seems doable. I almost got it like the second time. Like the second time I almost got it. And then I just spent hours bashing and bashing. It was hard. Oh, almost. Oh, no. This is how I earned my position as a young ripper. What really got it in the end was diving high and following the wire down. I think that's what made it click for me. How'd you break that? I didn't show this, but the last 2 or 3 times, see right there, see I'm lining up high and trying to come in straight? That's what made it click for me. There you go. Fucking A, I did it! Yeah, baby. This guy's not impressed. I thought I should have put a caption on this. He's just, look at it, he's like, is it my turn yet? Not impressed, not interested.
Okay, yes, Bardwell.
All right. I'm real proud of that video. That video was a lot of work, and some of them you put a lot of effort into, and I'm real proud of it. I made music. Let's see how the analytics are. Not that it matters. I'm proud of it either way. It's doing okay. $65. So I got the I got the invoice for that trip today. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the invoice from Rampage. Uh-huh. Now the charger I had to buy because I accidentally grabbed the wrong charger and it didn't have AC input. So take that $150 off of there. It's $150. That's not bad. That's with the Rotor Riot pilot discount. So $150. Not bad. How many times did something break getting this footage? Jangmo. Well, I blew one ESC. Technically, I didn't blow the ESC, but I cut the wire and I wasn't allowed to solder, so I bought a new ESC. That was my own self-imposed challenge, and I tore up the frame, but I didn't have to buy any motors, so it was a pretty good deal. But I watched Steel. Jesus. I felt pretty good about myself until I watched Mr. Steele's clip. And I stumbled across this, not realizing it was Steele. I was just scrolling. And I was like, this guy's good. Look at this shit. Wait. Is that the whole clip? That's not the whole clip. Yeah. So first he grinds backwards down here. Okay. And then just flippity floop. Look at this. Look at this guy. Whoop. Donk. So good. Swiggity. What even was that? What even was that? What did he even do there? I don't know. Donk. And I'm like, that's just it. That's just it. I suck. I gotta keep working. I gotta keep working. There you go. You just gotta keep working. Bonk. Tap. Yeah. Anyway. So, you know, my mom gave me a gold star when I got back from Rampage. She said I did a really good job. Bad for life. I think you could grind like that in Betaflight with air mode off. I think you could. I mean, not to take anything away. Grinding like that without, like when Drew actually made a little C-shaped thing to help him grind, it's really hard to grind like that. So, I think you could do it with Betaflight. Let's keep going with the super chats. Rui Pedro, thank you for a €10 super chat. I'm upgrading from analog. You think the Fat Shark is a good option or will it never be possible like DJI, the Fat Snail? Oh, I see. It's hard to say whether the Fat Shark goggle, the Walk Snail goggle, is a good option because it is not finished. I think you need to wait until it is feature complete and has been on the market for 6 months before you can say for sure how it's going to sort of fit into the market. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy it. I don't want people to walk away from that and say Bardwell said don't buy it. And I say that because I was like, I might say that. I might be like, nah, you guys should wait. But I was there at Rampage in the build room at 9 a.m. on Friday when the product released, and people had already tried it out, and they were like, I'm buying it. And they were so excited to buy it. And I realized that there are people who are just psyched about the potential of this product and want to be in on it. And if that's you, then buy it, right? But if you're like, what's the best goggle for the money? How will this system play out? What kind of video transmitters will it have? What kind of range will it have? We don't know any of that. The freaking DVR didn't work. Like literally the DVR didn't work. And there was that error message popped up in the lower right corner of the screen for no reason. Like the firmware that we saw was not feature complete, had a lot of work left to be done on it. And so I don't think you can answer the question of how will that fit into the whole ecosystem. I think it has a lot of potential because it seems really clear that however they're doing it, whatever they're doing, they are walking in DJI's footsteps. I don't know how you want to put it. the system that they're building seems very similar to DJI. So if you are happy with the performance and the way that DJI works, it seems like this has potential to deliver similar things, but we just don't know until it's been out for a little while. So I can't say it's a good option. I wouldn't say it's a bad option. I would say it has a lot of potential, and we just need to see how it plays out. By the same token, the HD0 goggles have a lot of potential on paper, and we need to see how it plays out. Gadget RC, intermodulation distortion is still a thing. IMD is just a thing. I don't know that there is like a kind of receiver that can fix that. You definitely, I mean, a lot of flight lines today just run raceband 1357. And they just don't, I don't know how they deal with IMD distortion or IMD. But if you really care about the best possible flight line, you should run the IMD 6 channel set or something like that. B-Man FPV, I don't know why they showed the product in as unfinished a state as it is. And I don't know why they're selling it in as unfinished a state as it is. I asked Alan, the vice president of Fat Shark, I asked him, you know, given the amount of work that it seems like is left to do on that firmware, how can you sell a goggle in June, you know, a month, 6 weeks away? And he said, well, it may not be feature complete. It may have work left to be done. I'm like, okay, well, that's an honest answer. But why did you choose to show it today and sell it today if it's not ready? And obviously they have a reason. We don't think we know what the reason is. Tom Weich, thank you for a $5 super chat. Walksnail asked us on Facebook if we wanted a VRX we could fit to older goggles. Obviously we want it. Do you think they will actually release it? No clue, right? No clue. Walksnail seems very hungry and responsive right now, and that's great. That's what we want. We love it when Carl from HD0 is on Facebook asking us what we want and then showing us that he's doing it. We love that. If Walksnail releases a standalone receiver with HDMI output that works with older goggles, then Fat Shark, it will show that Fat Shark has absolutely no leverage in that relationship. That's a hot take, and like any hot take, it's a little bit risky and could turn out to be wrong. But like when I saw that Walksnail was selling the Avatar goggle, which is like the same goggle it looks like the same goggle as the Fat Shark goggle. And I was like, well, Fat Shark wouldn't let that happen if they had, but I was like, well, maybe it's like a 50-50 relationship. I don't know. In fact, and it's very common for Chinese companies to sell your IP. So maybe Walksnail did it, even though they told Fat Shark they wouldn't do it. Like, I'm not saying that happened, but I'm saying there are lots of cases of an American company pairs up with a Chinese or two Chinese companies, doesn't matter. One of them gives IP to the other, and then the other one sells the IP on the gray market or whatever. That's just tale as old as time. So, but in this case, it feels like Walksnail is driving development in a way that Fat Shark isn't. Because Walksnail is the one out on Facebook saying, hey, what features do you guys want? But here's the thing. If Walksnail were to deliver a standalone unit that used HDMI to connect to any goggle, why would anyone need to buy the Fat Shark goggle? Like, Fat Shark's contribution to the goggle is the goggle. If Walksnail releases a box that gets you out of buying the goggle, that is undercutting Fat Shark so bad. Because everybody who has an Orca or a Sky Zone or a Fat Shark or an older Fat Shark will just not buy the new goggle and save the money. Why would you spend $600 on a goggle? The big reason to buy the goggle is that you want the system. And if Walksnail were to do that, it would be really shitting on their business relationship with Fat Shark. Like, whatever bad stuff Greg thought that Carl was going to do to him that caused Fat Shark to stop being partners with HD0, it can't be as bad as if Walksnail was to release a standalone box that was a receiver for this system. You see what I mean? We don't know. We don't know. It remains to be seen. I'm excited by the potential for the future. Walksnail and Cadix seem really sure that they're going to just roll this thing out and it's going to be amazing. White Wolf wants to know. Thank you, White Wolf, for being a patron. White Wolf in the Discord server wants to know, if you're flying FPV, do you need an observer to maintain visual line of sight? Yes, according to the FAA. If you have FPV goggles on your face, then you are not maintaining visual line of sight. You need a observer, a spotter, who maintains VLOS with the aircraft and who is co-located with you. So the thing that some people do, where the observer is on like a radio or a cell phone talking to the pilot, technically I think is not compliant with FAA regs. And every single FPV pilot always has a visual observer at all times. John Solo says, what about the optics of the new goggle? That'd be a reason. Sure, I mean, sure, if you want that. But if you have I wouldn't pay $300 more to get a new goggle if I already had a goggle I was happy with. Brad Henderson, I did not miss your super chat. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I just haven't gotten to it yet, sir. I am currently on Tom Weiss. Darvinder K, thank you for a $20 super chat. Can you please help me figure out my current situation? I'm DSK on Patreon. Well, I will, for a $20 super chat, I guess I can take a minute. Normally, I don't like to do super detailed back and forth on live streams because it just kind of eats up it's not the most interesting thing for the audience. But for a patron and for a $20 super chat, I feel like I can take a little bit of time, I suppose. Here is the question. Let me just copy paste this. This is a little bit of a long one. Thank you for your support, Darvinder. Let's see here. Remove this over here. Really appreciate what you do. Here's a follow-up question for you. I am sick of practicing in the sim and want to fly as soon as I can. I want to fly digital FPV with the 6S doing freestyle and cinematic stuff. I have a 5-inch quad, which I can fly with some repairs from 2017 when I quit initially. Don't have goggles, and it's an analog setup. The flight controller is an F4 flight controller. Okay. That's the minimum. BLE S, ESC. Given the current state of things, would you recommend that Well, I wouldn't say number one, because look, you told me I am sick of practicing in the sim. If you come to me and say, I'm sick of practicing in the sim, I'm not your, your mother. I'm not going to be like, well, you just need to practice in the sim, young man. You know, if you're sick, you're a grown adult. If you're sick of practicing in the sim, then time to stop practicing in the sim. Because here's the thing. Being sick and frustrated and annoyed will just kill your enthusiasm for the hobby. Okay? So if you're sick of practicing in the sim, then you're done. Okay? Now, the question is, do you want to wait 6 months to get a digital goggle? Because in 6 months, you'll be ready to get a digital goggle? I still don't know if I would wait 6 months or 8 months. I mean, that's 6 or 8 months you could be flying. That's a long time. John Citizen says the idea that keeping line of sight is safer than FPV shows the regulators know nothing about FPV. You're more likely to hit someone line of sight than FPV for an experienced pilot. John, they're concerned about your awareness of other traffic in the area. They want you to have visual observation so that you can see if other aircraft are entering your airspace. They're not really concerned about you crashing into an obstacle, is my read on it. And they're right. When you've got your goggles down, you are much less aware of aircraft entering the airspace than when you are literally looking at the sky. I mean, so. Continuing the question from Darvinder. Should I get a cheap or used analog goggle, repair my quad, and get flying? Should I invest in a rapid fire to get better clarity? That depends on your budget. I mean, a cheap analog goggle is going to be $200 or $300. And if you have a rapid fire, it's going to add another $100, $120 or something on that. That's a fair amount of money, and you're probably not going to get that back 6 or 8 months from now. Analog gear, I mean, these days any gear could be expensive because everything is expensive and out of stock. But you will definitely lose some money if you spend $300 or $400 now on analog gear, and then 6 or 8 months from now you buy digital gear. You could get an analog goggle like the SkyZone Cobra X, which is in the $200 to $250 range and is pretty good. Your Furious diversity receiver will be acceptable. Rapid fire would be better. Should I build a 5-inch 6S rig without the VTX module and wait for new VTX systems to launch? No, I would not build a 5-inch quad today that I didn't expect to fly for 8 more months, because who knows what the state of the art will be like in 8 months. Although these days, maybe everything will be out of stock and you'll be glad you bought it. I wouldn't build a quad today with the expectation that I wasn't going to fly it for 6 or 8 months. So I think number 2 is the right one for me, I would say. Get a cheaper used analog goggle. Get your quad back in the air and get flying. Don't buy a rapid fire. For the Eachine EV800D or DM is a good cheap goggle. You can get it new. It's about $100. That's what you should do. Number 2. Speaking of which, if you're looking for a new set of goggles, if Darvinder knew that my website, fpvknowitall.com, is home of the ultimate FPV shopping list. So, for example, Darvinder could go to Goggles and Antennas for FPV Drones and see my suggested analog goggles. And see that the EV800D, wait, shouldn't it be the DM? Shit. I hate keeping this thing up to date. Would you stop inventing new stuff, FPV community? It makes it hard to keep my website up to date. The Eachine EV800D or the SkyZone Cobra X are a good choice. Yeah, so there you go. That's a little plug for me. If you find that all these links are affiliate links, which means I get a little commission every time you use them, and that's a great way to support me and see all the products that I recommend. So. Harbles FPV, thanks for $6.90. Dance? That's like a $7.69 is a good number. It's better than $4.20, but nah, that my dignity. How much do you really think my dignity is worth? How much do you think my dignity is actually worth? You think you're going to get my dignity for $7? It's not going to happen. Brad Henderson, we have finally come to your super chat. Brad Henderson, thank you for a $5 super chat. Thoughts on the new rumored leaked DJI FPV Avata drone and what new stuff you think DJI might bring to the FPV community with it? Any potential? Well, Brad, I think that any new DJI drone is going to be cool and interesting and have interesting tech. And like, as far as I can tell, it's a Cinewhoop. And it's got some interesting, like, gimbal stuff going on. I don't think it's going to be that, interesting to me, because I think that I just am not that interested in DJI drones the way that a lot of people are. And I'm certainly not keeping up with rumors and leaks. So, and Mar wants to know, boneless or bone-in barbecue wings? That's the kind of question that really brings out the people. MR, not NMAR. I'm a bone-in guy. Now, there definitely is a lot to be said for the simplicity of a boneless wing. A nice breaded boneless. Let's be clear. A boneless wing is not a wing. A boneless wing is just a chicken nugget, right? But it's a chicken nugget with a yummy sauce on it. So the thing about the boneless wings is they have breading. And so what you're really eating is not just like a piece of meat. You're eating this, it's got the breading, and that changes. It's got a little bit of crunch. It's a little fried. It's good. I've enjoyed me some boneless wings. But I really appreciate the process of eating bone-in wings, actual chicken wings. They bring you the wings, and you got the drumsticks, and you got the flats, and then you got the flats, you got to like pull the bone out, and you can eat it. You got the wings, a little tray of wings at the end, little bones, tell you how many you ate. That's its own, and you're not eating all the freaking fried breading, Yeah. So that's where I'm going to go. That's where I'm going to go. I'm a bone-in guy. I like a good bone. I like to have a good bone, and I like to just take that bone and put it right in my mouth and just pull it out and then throw it away. Yeah. What was I saying about my dignity? I mean, I feel like chicken wings are kind of they're their own thing. Right? Bone-in chicken wings are boneless chicken wings, boneless whatever nuggets. They're a good food, but you're not having chicken wings. So, good question. Thank you for asking that. You can show off your lollipop technique where you take the flat and you go. Fun per Volt FPV. I would love to go on hot ones. I mean, like, there is absolutely no reason why Sean Evans would ever want to interview me. I mean, I'm probably like way down on his list of people he'd like to interview. And so that's not going to happen. But that looks like a good time. I mean, you could sit and you could do your own hot ones you could buy the sauces and do your own hot ones. That sounds fun. $702 Fly and Ride, thanks for a $10 super chat. Is there anywhere I can watch Flow State yet? If not, when? Okay. So I don't know if it's too early to talk about this yet, but do you remember a while back I said that there was a date, and if this date passed without selling Flow State, to like a distribution service, then I was going to think about other steps. That date has passed, and James and I are now deciding how we want to proceed with self-distribution. And I don't know how much more I want to say about that because we haven't got a time frame yet. Our time frame is as soon as possible. But we're not going to give it away for free. We would need to find a way to put it up for streaming or something where people can buy it. And so, for example, we talked about potentially putting it on iTunes. And there are hoops you got to jump through to get a film onto iTunes. Like, you can't just like upload it and be like, okay, here we go. You got to have subtitle tracks. You got to have all this other, they got to pass quality checks. But I will say that although we still would love to sell the film, the time period where we were saying we're not going to self-publish because it will hurt our potential to sell the film, that time is now over, and we're gonna try to think about how we want to self-publish it. Can't you sell it on YouTube? I don't know. James looked into this. James said that as far as he can tell, iTunes is basically the only option for like self-publish by where they'll stream it and collect money for you. I don't know if just anybody can put something up on Google Play Store. I know there are paid movies and shows on YouTube, but do those movies and shows come from independent producers like me? Or are they all gone through big media companies like Sony and Viacom? Yeah. Prime Video is the Wild West. I thought that about Prime. So if anybody knows, I'll throw this out there. I'll throw this out there to you. If anybody out there knows of a streaming service that does paid streaming and allows self-publishing other than iTunes, contact me. Start an OnlyFans account and sell it there. Yeah, the thing is, it also has to have some kind of DRM so that it's at least mildly difficult to just rip it and steal it. Anyway, can't you do a paywall on Vimeo? I don't know about that. I'm surely James would mention that because he is well versed in Vimeo. Anyway, that's where we're at. I would say that we are a minimum of 8 weeks from any other announcement. But I will say that James and I, we talked, and we both, I think, agree that we want to go ahead and self-publish it so the FPV community can see it as soon as possible. And that's where we're at. Videodirect.amazon.com. Helping studios. Oh, shit. Yeah, what about this? Yeah, I'd have to do Amazon. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Let me send that to James. All right, good. Put it on your website with a donation link. It's just going to be pirated anyway. We can't do that, Market Zero. We can't do that because if we give it away for free, then no one will buy it. And the fact that we haven't sold it yet, after I think like 9 months of actively trying to sell it, maybe means that no one's going to buy it, which is sad. I mean, just is what it is. But if we give it away for free, no one will buy it because they'll be like, you already gave it away for free. The fact that people are going to pirate it, that's just a fact of life. I mean, obviously. But if we sell it, it changes the calculus of trying to sell it to distribution. But if we give it away for free, that's the end. We will never get picked up by distribution. So we just can't do that. We can't do that. Anyway, that's the answer to your question, 702 Fly and Ride. For Vimeo, Vimeo on demand, you have to have a paid subscription to that. Let's see. I think you have to have the business plan of Vimeo to be able to do this. And I think that's really expensive. I don't know if Vimeo would work for our size. Like, what Vimeo plan do you need to be able to sell things? Join Vimeo to start selling. Okay. Boom. Okay, I will. What version of Vimeo do I need to be able to sell? Business Plus. I don't know. Doesn't say. Duration or size, blah, blah, blah. Can I live stream? Do their self-serve plans? Bandwidth limit. Yeah. We would hit that. I don't know. Yeah. Rui Pedro, thank you for a €5 super chat. My fat snail question was more about the technical limitations of the system that will never allow Whoop or 1S VTX like DJI, making me go to HD0 instead. Rui Pedro, it's hard to say whether the Fat Shark Walk Snail system will ever be able to get as small as HD0 with a 1S VTX. The current Walk Snail VTX that we saw at Rampage has 25mm mounting, although it is much bigger and heavier. Based on the fact that they've already got the VTX that small, it seems plausible to me that they could make a lightweight, low-power 1S VTX, but that is pretty far out before we'll actually be able to decide, and see how that plays out. Night Owl in the Discord says, the trick about flow state is we don't just want to see it ourselves, we want to share it with the world. It's true, and that's why I haven't distributed it until now, because we hoped to be able to sell it to distribution and get the world to see it. But there's a point where you go, all right, well, I'm not going to wait for that anymore. I need to get this out there so like my core fans can see it. What are you seeing, Archimedes? Why do I not see choose your plan, earn money? Where are you, Archimedes? I don't see that. Archimedes, I don't see that. Wait, sell your videos to fans worldwide. Where? Oh, view all features. Oh. I didn't click view all features. It's the pro plan. Well, we'd go over 20 gig for sure. Interesting. Interesting. Why? I don't know. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, that's well, I'll throw that out there. I wonder why. Surely James knew about that. There must be a reason why he didn't go that direction. Mark Wasilowski, how could I get my local art film house to show Flow State? Mark, you should reach out to me or reach out to James if you have his info, but reach out to me and we can talk about private showings. Yeah. Appreciate you guys giving me the feedback on this. 20 gig per week is the amount you can upload. Oh, I didn't know that, Archimedes. We're gonna whatever their download bandwidth limit is, we're gonna blow it away. I mean, if it was $20 a month, that would be nothing. Monkey FPV. That would be nothing. That would be like one stream. Skint FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat, just because. Tilo8 Tube, thank you for 5 Canadian dollars. Is there a simulator that simulates the physics of the Gep RC Baby Croc 5? No, not specifically. You could try to get a simulator like Velocidrone or Liftoff and adjust the physics to try to match the weight. None of the simulators simulate the physics of a quad perfectly. So you try to get the weight and the thrust about right, and then just, you know, go to the real life. James, thank you for 2 Australian dollars. I'll buy it. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. Thank you, Scott Abramacek, for a $5 super chat. Does 1200 milliwatts reading on the DJI OST guarantee that you are actually outputting 1200 milliwatts? Sometimes I feel I did the hack wrong or something. Scott, if you have 1200 milliwatts in your menu, then you did the hack right. Jordil, thank you for a $10 super chat. What do you think about Street League? Open source racing frames in general. Jordil, Street League confuses me a little bit, but who am I to judge? I would have said that the Racer 4, the DRL Racer 4, is big and heavy and flies like crap. But it creates a style of head-to-head racing that is very entertaining, and so it makes sense. Because the Racer 4 is big and doesn't handle as sharply as like a little 5-inch mini quad, it means that pilots can't rely on raw power to get themselves out of trouble. It means that pilots have to race very clean. It means that they need skill and not just twitch reflexes to win races. And it compresses the skill gap between the pilots, although, as we see when we watch DRL, it compresses the skill gap, but the best pilots often still the same, 4 pilots are usually on top. But it's really good for televised racing. The bigger quads can be seen easier, and it's really good for televised racing. But I can't imagine, and I couldn't imagine why a pilot would want to build a DRL Racer 4 other than that they're going to fly it on DRL. Like, I couldn't imagine why anyone would want to race anything that flew that bad by themselves. And then somebody invented Street League, which is basically building 7-inch quads that emulate the flight characteristics of the Racer 4 and then flying them. And I'm like, well, okay. I guess that's what you're into. And a lot of people are into it, so what do I know? So I think it's pretty cool. Anytime people are doing stuff they're excited about, that's cool, and I'm not going to judge. But I was surprised when I learned that it was a thing. Jeremy Franklin, thanks for 5 Australian dollars. Is the TBS 4-in-1 module the best for connecting to heaps of different brand receivers? Jeremy, sure, if the receivers you want to connect to are FreeSky, FlySky, Spectrum, those kinds. Not Tracer, Express LRS, Ghost, Crossfire. Those all need their own receivers. And with that, we are caught up on Super Chats. Only an hour and 10 minutes since I started reading Super Chats, and we are finally all the way caught up. I mean, I guess there's worse things than spending your whole... Sorry, Drew's staring at me. There's worse things than spending your whole live stream reading Super Chats. Oh, there's another Super Chat. Narcoleptic LTD, thanks for a $10 Super Chat. Is there a general preference for 20 by 20 mounting hardware to be M2 or M3? No, and it's freaking annoying. It's freaking annoying. Because if your frame is drilled for M2 screws and your flight controller is drilled for M3, you need some kind of a spacer. If your frame is drilled for M3 and your flight controller is drilled for M2, you need some kind of a spacer, and it's freaking annoying. There is no standard, and you just pick one and cross your fingers, and then you're going to piss some people off. Dragon Wing FPV. I disagree with that statement, although I could be wrong. I am sometimes wrong. Dragon Wing FPV says, setting DJI 1200 milliwatt in the goggle menu does nothing if the FCC hack has not been done in the Vista or Air unit. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that if you have it's interesting. Oh, maybe you're right. If you have a Vista or Air unit that is registered in the EU, your goggle will still show 1200 milliwatts, but it will only go to 25 milliwatts. That, I'm surprised, because surely the goggle can tell what power levels the VTX supports. But it sounds like you've experienced this, and maybe I should just trust you. The answer would be to do the FCC hack on the Air unit or the Vista. Eric Toft says, is that true? I thought the goggle wouldn't show power levels the VTX doesn't support. That's also what I thought, Eric, but I have never owned an Air unit or Vista that was not registered in the FCC region, so this is a potential failure mode that I never would have experienced. Willpower FPV. Willpower FPV says, I'm in Canada and I cannot apply the 1200 milliwatts unless I do the FCC hack. B-Man FPV says it doesn't show 1200 milliwatts if you haven't done the hack. Okay, so now these guys are agreeing with me. Eric Toft says, before I did the FCC hack, I could only go to 700 milliwatts. Well, Eric, the Air unit... No, that's not right, Eric. If you have an Air unit that's registered outside of the FCC region, it only goes to... Does it only go to 200 milliwatts? Maybe it's... I can't remember. But the Air unit, the 1200 milliwatt hack is done in the goggles. Okay. Did you already talk about your awesome shirt? Where can we get this? This is a shirt from Patrick Clark of Project Mockingbird. You can see it's got the Mockingbird logo on the back. He sent this to me. I don't know. Does he sell it? I think he has a blog spot. Squarespace. Project Mockingbird Squarespace. PMB merch. Oh, there you go. Yes, Project Mockingbird t-shirt. Here you go. I'll put that link in the chat if you want to pick up. Wait a minute. This is not the same shirt. Where's my shirt, though? Oh, here you go. Zorro Element M. Zorro did this shirt. I did not know that. Yeah, this is the actual shirt that I'm wearing. It's a Project Mockingbird shirt. He tunes microquads. Okay, people are telling me that Canada is 700 milliwatts. The bottom line is do the FCC hack. There's your shirt. I'm wearing the black model, which is superior. If you want to pick up this shirt, this is where you can pick it up. Okay. Kingbird FPV asks, any thoughts about the new Insta360 camera? Looks like it's intended for drones. I don't know. Let's look at this. Let's see. Oh, 19 seconds. I don't know how much we're going to get at it. It's obviously it's a 360 cam. Yeah, okay. What are we doing? That didn't really tell me anything. What is it? It's a 3D render. What is it? I'm not inspired. I'm not intrigued. I'm just annoyed. What is it? Tell me what it is. 24th of May. That's tomorrow. People in Asia where it's already tomorrow. Tell me about this camera. It's a cool edit. It's a cool edit. You're right. I mean, that's a 3D. That's a 3D render. Like, I don't know what's going on here. This is not an actual scene. So. Hey, GemFan. By the way, GemFan, I don't know if you noticed this, man. GemFan, since you're here, GemFan sponsored Rotorite Rampage, and as part of that, Pilots got a bag of props. And I just wanted to say thanks for I ran the F4 props during my challenge, and they were, despite the fact that I broke a bunch of them because I was being intentionally abusive, they flew really well, and I appreciate the bag of props. So I just wanted to, so often sponsors give me stuff, and I am like, okay, cool, thanks, and then I never think about it again because I'm just really just self-centered narcissist, basically. But this time, GemFan, appreciate you. Give you a little shout out there. All right. Really, for all the times that people accuse me of being a shill, there are so many manufacturers and stores out there who are really annoyed at how little I shill for them. So I guess you can't make everybody happy, I guess is what I'm saying. Jack R asks, what do you think your future goggle setup will be? Do you think you'll use HD0 goggle with a Walksail VRX? One of the great privileges of being a professional in a career in a given area is that you get to try it all. So right now I fly mostly DJI. That's just a fact. It's true. I fly some HD0 and some analog, and I have a set of HDO2s with a HD0 receiver on them. I have a set of Orcos. I have a set of SkyZone Skyo 4X, and I have a set of DJI goggles. And, I don't need all four of those goggles, but, could I get rid of the SkyZones? Yeah, but then what if SkyZone releases a new receiver and I have to review it or something? So what will my setup be in the future? All of the above. Right now, DJI is 80% of what I fly. In terms of, flight hours or packs. If I flew a lot of micros, analog and HD0 would go way up. HD0 is so good for micros. But I don't know what the future will be. Let's see. The question is, If I am getting to choose from 8 channels, does that mean I did the hack correctly? 8 channels? Yeah, because when you're not in FCC mode, they don't give you all 8 channels, do they? Carbon Cage wants to know, why is my Vista not connecting in mass storage to do the hack? Did you power it up? You can't just plug in USB. You have to power it up. Bradley Dodson wants to know. Bradley Dodson says, what are some tips on drone racing? There are none in my area, and I'm very bad at getting through gates with speed. What should I do? Bradley, the single best way to get better at racing gates, I think, is to use the Velocidrone simulator. Velocidrone is widely agreed by multi-GP style racers to be the preferred. I'm not going to say best, because best is a loaded word, but I think it is objectively true that Velocidrone is the simulator that is preferred by most multi-GP style racers. For racing, for sure. So I would say download Velocidrone and practice on Velocidrone. Now, as far as finding races to go to, I don't know. Where do you live, Bradley? Where do you live? How are the F4S props compared to 51433 or 51477? Your solder-free drib build was pretty heavy, right? Asks broke my fat strap. So first of all, the drib build is heavier, but I was running it without a GoPro most of the time because I broke my GoPro and I destroyed the mount. And then I was just like, you know what? This video is just going to be DVR because I was like, I'm not destroying 5 GoPros just to make this stupid video. This is not worth it. So most of the time, somebody who commented on that video and he was like, yeah, boy, that Skyliner sure looks heavy. And I was like, yeah, except it actually probably was pretty close to 700 grams because I didn't have a freaking GoPro on it. So maybe it wasn't that heavy. Confirmation bias, right? How are the F4S props compared to 51477? The F4S props, to me, I think they're lower pitch, and I think they're 5.1 in diameter, aren't they? Let's look. Let's just look up the specs. 5.1 by 3.6 by 3, so it's a relatively low pitch prop, but it's a 5.1. It's significantly lower pitch than 51477, so I feel, I mean, you immediately get more low throttle control just because it's a less powerful prop. 51477, I'm used to like this taking off at 20% throttle and then being able to just go bop, 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 and really get big punches, right? Whereas a lower pitch prop isn't going to give you those pops and punches, but it is going to be a lot more controllable. I thought the F4S was pretty durable in terms of ability to keep flying it when it was crashed. That was one of the things that stood out to me about it. Martin Fouche, thank you for a $5 super chat. Any tips for dives close to objects like waterfalls? I tend to move away from the structure I'm diving, even at 0 throttle. Okay, Martin, this is a great question. The reason that you move away from the object you're diving is that your idle speed is pulling you away. So you have an idle speed for your motors, and let's say it's 5.5%, which is the default value for Betaflight. Well, even 5.5% throttle is enough thrust to push you away from whatever you're diving. So what do you do about it? One thing you can do about it is you can lower your idle speed. And if you use dynamic idle in Betaflight 4.3, that can help you keep a lower idle speed while not experiencing desyncs. You can if you're using dynamic idle, you can push that idle speed much lower, like 2,000 RPM or maybe a little lower even than that, without getting desyncs. And that will help minimize that effect, but it'll still happen. So then what do you do? One thing you do is, as you're diving the object, I need a quad. Hang on. So as you're diving the object, like your camera is looking straight down, okay? And your motors, look at your thrust vector, is pulling you away from the object. One thing you can do is you can pitch forward a little more. Now, you're not looking straight down at the object, right? Now the object, the building, is starting to fill your camera view more. But you can significantly minimize or reduce the amount of thrust pulling you away from the building. As you go past 45 degrees, that angle will get significantly less, okay? So if you're diving and you have like 20 degrees of up tilt, raise your up tilt. Raise your up tilt to at least 35 or 40 or maybe even a little more. If all you're going to do is dive, raise your up tilt to 45 or 50 degrees. Now that's going to make the rest of your flying really weird, but it's going to optimize you for the dive. And then pitch forward into it a little bit. And the more you can pitch forward while still having an acceptable camera angle, the better you're going to do. Now, here's another tip. Raise the up tilt of your HD cam while leaving your FPV up tilt the same. So you are looking at the side of the building, but your HD cam is looking straight down. And again, that's going to create problems when you're flying straight because your cam potentially is going to be looking up at the sky. So you need to be a little careful. Don't go crazy. Don't have your FPV cam at 30 degrees and your HD cam at 60 degrees. That's not going to work. But you could have your FPV cam at 35 degrees and your HD cam at 40 or 45 degrees, and that'll help you with that situation. At the end of the day, eventually, you will have to rotate. On a long enough dive, eventually, you will pull yourself away from the building. So what about if you, as you're diving, you maybe do like a roll or a pitch, a somersault, right? And then maybe try to get yourself pulled back in. Or you flip back around and pull yourself in and then flip back. That kind of thing. All right, so those are some thoughts about that. Thoughts about dives. Good conversation. Can you turn idle off with a switch, Long Dollar Bill? Long Dollar Bill, you have to have the motors spinning to stabilize the quad. Mason Nordman wants to know. Nordman. I'm pretty new to FPV. Is there a way to balance the cells of a 4S battery using an ISDT Q6 charger or something else to buy to balance the cells? Well, ISDT. What is an ISDT Q6 charger? Let's just make sure we're talking about the same thing. This has a balance mode. This charger can balance cells. Just use the standard charging cycle. It should balance the cells. Well, I'm not. What are you asking for, Mason? I guess, Mason, what is it that you want a charger to do that this quad doesn't do? Because this charger should really do it all. KV8KV, my GoPro is usually angled pretty much the same as my flight cams. Yeah, the charger automatically balances at the end of the cycle. Nicholas Digby, thank you for a $5 super chat. Off the wall question. can't read your super chat now. Hang on. Do you have a Weigels near you? Yes, I do. I miss the homeland. I do have a Weigels near me. We have several. Weigels is a gas station, for what it's worth. Yeah, I got a few. There's a few Weigels near me. Let's see. Let's see. That's pretty much like, these are the two Weigels near my house. One in Farragut, one in I think that's. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong one. Is that one in Farragut? Oh no, that's not the one near me. I don't go to that one. This is my Weigels right here. Where's the other one? Oh, up off. Yeah, no, there you go. At the corner of Yarnell and Lovell. Yeah, there you go. Yep, we got a couple Weigels. In case you're confused and don't know where Weigels are, this is why you've never heard of Weigels. Because Weigels literally only exists in this little corner of East Tennessee. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know Weigels was that regional. It's a gas station. It literally is just a gas station. I didn't realize they were this regional, though. I got to tell you, this is all the Weigels in the world, right here in this little stretch of East Tennessee. Go figure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it's a gas station. Are Weigels special? I mean, they're a good gas station. Don't get me wrong. And here you go. There you go. Get ready to experience the wonder of a Weigels. Can I street view this? Can I just street view? Oh, see? There you go. That's my Weigels right there, baby. Why are we so... Does it matter? I mean, it's just a gas station. How dare you? How dare you say Weigels is just a gas station? I don't know. It just looks like, I mean, it's a fine gas station. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Now, real gas station. What's that one with the 57 pumps? With the chipmunk. What's that one? No. What's that gas station? Buc-ee's. That's it. Now, I've never been to a Buc-ee's. But there's a Buc-ee's between Chattanooga and Atlanta, I think. And every time I drive to Atlanta, I think I see the signs for the Buc-ee's. And I'm like, Buc-ee's is something. I don't want directions. Can I see pictures? Hang on. Buc-ee's temporarily closed. Yeah, here's the one that I never go to. The one on 75. I gotta find an excuse to stop here. Buc-ee's is a hell of a thing. Look at that. You think they got enough gas pumps? You think they got enough gas pumps? Sheesh. Buc-ee's is that's a travel center. Right there. Look at those gas. Look at those. Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's. Are those gas cans? No, those look like coolers. You could buy... How many gas stations can you buy a smoker at? That's Buc-ee's. How many gas stations can you buy a smoker at? I ask you. Now, I have been to a Sheetz before. Sheetz is pretty good. Sheetz is good. I've never been to a Buc-ee's. All right. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Night Owl, are you Rudolph Lachman? Rudolph Lachman showed me the... I apologize for butchering your name, by the way. He showed me the problem where the TBS Mambo loses calibration when you update a receiver. You should show that to TBS so they would fix it. Yeah, if you guys have ever run... Yeah, okay, Night Owl. Didn't realize that was who you were. Thank you for the beer, Night Owl. I don't know if you saw earlier in the stream. I drank this today on stream. Thank you for that. Rudolph Lachmo. It's probably worse if I try to say it with a French accent. Rudolph Lachmo. I should probably just be like, Rudolph Lachman. Does that hurt? Does that hurt your... Rudolph Lachman. That's how we say it. Okay. Oh. Don't say it. That's not good. Don't insult me. Zanakis FPV, thanks for a $10 super chat. Wawa, gotta represent. I can't remember when the last time I was at a Wawa. That's not in my area. Cheech FPV, thank you for a $5 super chat. B-Man FPV will tell you I have an ESC problem. Therefore, in your opinion, what's the most durable ESC for bando smashing? Shoot. Foxeer Reaper, a lot of racers seem to use. I would say the Acon, T-Motor F55, which me and Ciati think Acon makes it, but we don't know. Yeah. And soft mount them. Narcoleptic, thank you for a $5 super chat. Which one are you? Very important. Joshua from the future or Joshua from the now? Well, I am currently Joshua in the present. Joshua from the future only exists when I'm editing a video and I realized I said something dumb. Redux Air is an excellent ESC. Good for freestyle, good for racing. Any ESC that's good for racing is also good for freestyle, right? It's not like the ESC cares. But I don't know if Redux... I don't know if you can get the 30mm Redux. If you run 20mm, Redux Air is a good choice. Ricky Church, thanks for a $5 super chat. Is Sharkbite done, or will it work with the new Dominator HD? Ricky, excuse me. Sharkbite was the name of... It's just HD0. Sharkbite is not done. My goodness, sorry. Apologize. Wow. It's that Quebec beer. HD0 is still being made. So it will not work with the new Dominator HD, which doesn't have an HDMI input. So no, it won't work. But it's not done. It's just HD0. Jonathan Janelle, thank you for a $5 super chat. Just followed your tutorial on flashing Blue Jay to my ESCs. The quad arm's fine, but when I move the throttle slightly up, the throttle goes up significantly. Best guess is that you got one or more motors spinning the wrong direction. When you flashed, you didn't fix the motor direction. So recheck your motor direction. That would be the first thing I would tell you to check. We are 7 minutes from the end of the stream. 7 minutes from the end of the stream. Got time for a couple new questions. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. Matthew Doherty is really sad that the new Fat Shark has no input of any kind. Total deal breaker. Yeah, that's a significant difference between the HD0 and the Fat Shark goggles. The HD0 has an input, it's got an output, it's got a sideways, make you a peanut butter sandwich. Does it all. Fat Shark goggle is, I mean, it's still clear which of these is most responsive to the community's needs. Although, hopefully they're doing a better job than DJI with the Fat Shark goggle. What does it mean for a prop to be responsive, Nick Frazier? Nick, it just is the amount of time delay between when you move the throttle and when you feel a difference in the thrust output of the motor. Whack FPV, I did enjoy the Mike and Ike's at Rampage. Thank you. That's one of my favorite candies, actually, is Mike and Ike's, believe it or not. When you ask me, did you enjoy the Mike and Ike's at Rampage, it makes me wonder if there is something more to that question, like there was something about those Mike and Ike's that I should have known, but I didn't notice anything, so I'm just going to assume you're being friendly. Andy Dredd asks, can I use the upcoming Walk Snail goggle module with HD0 goggles? Andy, the Walk Snail goggle module is like literally one Facebook comment where they said they might make it. So, and the HD0 goggles also don't exist yet, although they are probably going to exist. So you're asking if you can use a product that may never exist with a product that doesn't currently exist, and I don't know how I can answer that question. Theoretically, the Walk Snail goggles module would have HDMI out, and HD0 goggles would have HDMI in, so theoretically they would work together. But given that neither of those products actually exists yet, I think we should all take just take a deep breath and, yeah. Jason Aviator and Joseph S. are talking about Chick-fil-A. I tried Chick-fil-A once in Virginia. I have a Chick-fil-A at the end of my street. I've never understood the hype. You know what I don't understand the hype of? Is, you know what I don't understand the hype of? Oh, I'm gonna piss some people off right now. Get ready. This is the most overrated fast food in the entire United States. Most overrated. Okay? By that I mean the food that is the most different in people's estimation of it and its actual quality. Okay? In-N-Out Burger. Oh, you guys, an In-N-Out Burger just opened down the street. Oh, let's have a 14-hour line. Why? These are terrible French fries. They are thin. They are bland. They have no texture. Terrible fries. The patties are thin. They put the goddamn tomato underneath the meat, which is heresy. And you put some Russian dressing. You put some Thousand Island dressing on your burger. Oh, hallelujah. Best burger in America. I don't know how In-N-Out so consistently shows up on lists of the best hamburger in America. I can only imagine that they are paying the judges. I had an In-N-Out burger. I was in California. I had an In-N-Out burger. And I was like, well, this is what the hype is about. Now, hang on. Hang on. You shut up. You shut your mouth. You people who live where there aren't Five Guys, you don't know what you're missing. This is the best burger, the best fast food burger in America. Absolutely. I will fight you to the death over that. In-N-Out? Are you kidding me? Look at this. First of all, look at these fries. Where's the fries? I've clicked on burgers. Hold on. Look at these fries. I'm going to put them side by side. Hang on now. Here's what I'm going to do. In-N-Out fries. And we're going to do an image search. Images. Okay? Five Guys fries. We're going to do an image search. Tell me which of these fries looks better. Look at these pale, bland, boring fries. Look at this. Oh my God. Shut up. Look at this. Look at this! Can I have the picture, please? Can I have the picture? Show me the picture. I just wanted the picture. Open image in new tab. Open image. New tab. Look at this. It's a tiny image. Look at this. That one's a little sloppy. Okay, that one's a little sloppy. I will give you that. That's a little sloppy. Look at this burger. Look at how good this burger looks. Look at this burger. Oh my God. Do you want... Oh my God. Look at that. Are you not like... Look at this burger. Tell me this is a better burger. Tell me this is a better burger than this. What is wrong with you if you think that's a better burger? Look at this boring, thin, bland. Oh, the only thing it's got going for it is Russian dressing. Look at this. Shut up. Okay. All right. That's all I have to say. I forget how I got on that topic, but it's now 10:01 p.m. Five Guys is grotesque, sloppy, and over the top. You're damn right. You're damn right. You're damn right. Why is the tomato and lettuce under the meat on the In-N-Out burger? Exactly. What else are they doing wrong that you don't know about? Okay. Alrighty, well, I don't know how we got on that topic. Five Guys is expensive as shit. It's expensive as shit. It's like $20 for a meal. That is true. We got a question here real quick. Sorry, Xiati. Blackbug Digital got another freeze frame yesterday during a shoot with the DJI Goggles V2 and Air unit. It froze for 2 seconds, then restarted. Usually freezes from the Air unit are the power source. Oh, Chick-fil-A. Thank you. Chick-fil-A is good, but not overrated. Chick-fil-A, I think, is about right. In-N-Out, super overrated. Five Guys, underrated. Okay. Blackbug Digital, how are you powering the Air unit is the question I would ask you if my live stream weren't about to end. Feel free to email me if you want to discuss it in more depth, but I got to go because Ciati's got a stream. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Had a great stream. Really enjoyed it. And we'll see you tomorrow for the news. Good night, everybody. Have a great stream, Ciati.